Thank you, Chico. Let's give her a round of applause. Yay. Well done. Okay, so here we are again. We apologize, the Wi-Fi might drop in and out, but welcome to a night of the museum, Healing Through the Arts. And we're starting out with music and art, which is the theme of Eleanor Merritt's high school, which she attended in the 50s. This picture right here, I always like to point out, is a 72-year-old painting. It was probably done as part of her portfolio, which is what artists have to do to look for acceptance into art school. And she was accepted to Brooklyn College. And Chico, we so appreciate you and By the Beat. And how's the sound tonight? Well, I tell you, it works very well with the art. And so now I'm going to invite Dr. Weddle, our special guest speaker, to come. And Dr. Weddle is going to speak to us about the importance of the mind and the body and the healing arts. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. You can sit or stand, whatever your preference is. We won't make you try to play the cello. Dr. Weddle is our Director of Wellness. I apologize if the audio is, or the video quality is poor. I hope that the camera is working a little bit better. How are we doing, audience? Is it working okay, Chief?
I think your Zoom is set up to automatically blur the background. So if you want to
That's okay.
turn that off.
For Dr. Weddle, we'll focus on him for now, okay? So Dr. Weddle, thanks for joining us tonight. And tell us a little bit about yourself and what we're going to hear from you about tonight.
The way the brain be able to work, and that's intricately involved in our recruiting process.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Weddle, I forgot to tell you that we do have a mic here to help. You don't want to do that? Okay, that's no problem. I'll just do this just in case so we can pick it up. Okay. We're all on. We're on live. We're good.
He might need it. We can't hear him good.
You're saying they really can't hear you. Would you mind trying to use it, or would you like to have Chico hold it close by? No, we don't have that. Sorry.
Sound check.
It's on. We're good. It's good. Sound check is better.
So what was I saying? Your position, and I was asked to talk about art and wellness. And so from a neuroscientific perspective, there's a lot going on with the process of creating art. And that's what this talk was about. And I'm going to make the disclosure. I wrote this talk for a group of college students, and that was called and I arrived today to find that this is family night. So I'm not going to give the entire talk plan because art and wellness is a complicated issue, and I'm not sure who's watching at the other end of this internet connection. But there's the issue of why are the words art and wellness even used used in the same sentence. How can art make us well? How can art make us unwell? And there are some of us there that really, probably I don't want to go into. So I'm going to stick to how art can make us well and some of the processes behind that. There's, I mean, some of the how to make us well is obvious, right? If you're commoditizing art, if you're monetizing it, you need to sell it in order to eat. That can be very stressful, and stress is equal to unwellness. And so, if art is making you stressed because that's your profession and you need to sell your art, then it can cause stress. But the whole subject of art, the history of unwellness is a deep subject. If you want to hear more about it, this is a course that I've taught. So all that I'm going to say, we can talk a little bit of course, and set something up. We'll get messy, we'll get our hands in play and paint, and we'll do the whole thing. So how does art cause wellness? This is really interesting. I'm gonna pick up my props. Often when I do this in the classroom, I hold up the 2 mirrors and someone says, "Oh, I know what that's all about," but you don't have a classroom, so I'm going to tell you. There was a philosopher born in Egypt in about the year 200. His name was Plotinus, and he gave us an image of where we live in our conscious, awake minds. And Plotinus said that we live sort of isolated and alone, sitting between 2 mirrors. Okay, one mirror, so the one on my right, your left, is sitting there, and beyond that mirror is the unconscious mind. Okay, and what we see in the unconscious is reflected in this mirror. So the images are sort of imprecise, sort of distorted, like dream images. We don't really understand them. And those are the images from the unconscious. The other mirror is in the other direction. And beyond that mirror, towards your right, is the external world, the physical world, the sensible world, all the things that we think of as being in our physical world. Over there on your right and the other side of this mirror. Okay. Now, just like the mirror to the unconscious, what we see in the outside world is reflected on the mirror also. And what we see when we look into the world is it's an image. We never really see the world in reality. We see light, of course, and patterns. We also see our memories, we see judgments, we see our culture, we see the bias. All these things are put together and put into our mirror, put on our mirror as an image of the outside world. So none of us see the outside world in exactly the same way. This is I'm going to put this one down because we're going to be talking about the mental consciousness. That's for another day.
Okay.
So, Freud said this. He said that we cannot know the unconscious and we can never see the actual external world. Everything, all perception is virtual. Carl Jung said this. These are all psychic events, so you can never really know them. Everyone from the Buddha to Salvador Dali has said the same thing. That we can never really know the outside world. It's a world of illusion. And artists know this, right? That's what artists do. They manipulate the illusion. They take 3-dimensional objects and put them on 2-dimensional canvases. That's what artists do. And so, just like the mirror in the unconscious, this mirror is also sort of at an angle according to the ancient Greeks. And we can never really see the outside world without some distortion. Okay? The ancient Mayans had the same idea. Instead of the mirrors tilted, they said the mirrors were smoked or smudged. This has been running all through history. Andre Breton, who pioneered the surrealist movement in art, said that his objective was to get rid of the inconsistencies of the mirror, and to try to remove the inconsistencies of the mirror. So this is something that's run through our world in our culture. So what is it about this mirror we're reviewing the world that relates to art. Well, first of all, what actually is image? Image by definition is the thing that's created by imagination. By definition, imagination creates image. Okay? What is imagination? William Blake said, imagination is all reality. Reality is imagination. The experienced world through imagination. That's what imagination is. So what is art? Art using imagination. What is art? For this, we're going to tap Jack London, an author who had a paradox of living. And his paradox of living was that ecstasy, you can read wellness, occurs when we are most alive, but it occurs in the forgetfulness that we are alive. Wellness occurs when we're most alive, but in the forgetfulness that we are alive. And he said for artists, that ecstasy, wellness, occurs outside of yourself. Okay? That was the definition of paradox of light in its relating to art. What is that one? So, what does that mean? Why is it that when we begin a painting, our measured stress hormone levels go down, our cortisol goes down, our blood pressure goes down, our blood sugar goes down, our cholesterol goes down, our risk of heart attack goes down? Why? Why is it that when we model with modeling clay, our measured stress hormone goes down and all those things cascade with it? Why, when we collage, or after, all those things go down? So like an automatic wellness response. Why? Why does that happen?
Why does it happen, Doc?
I think this is not something that I read about. This is my understanding, my theory. You don't need to believe it. But the process of art, for me, is finding images which have greater fidelity, that are closer to the outside world, which you can't really experience, which create a cognitive framework, a cognitive map of a world that can be a dangerous world. The world can be dangerous.
Yeah.
And the better we understand it, the better our images tell us what's out there and have better fidelity, then the safer we are, the less danger we're confronted with. And the automatic response is a decrease in stress, relaxation. So all those things cascade with produce a cognitive framework with greater fidelity from the outside world. And that's what art allows us to do. It's automatic. There's no, sometimes with art, on the unconscious side, art can help us have awareness and awareness and it is indirect, but this is a direct process of art better understand the world. What about emotion? What about emotion? Where is emotion there? In terms of the two mirrors, is emotion in the outside or is emotion in the unconscious? Where is it there? Well, expression is art where emotion is tried to put directly on the canvas, often through color. Okay? Expressionist writing is the same, trying to put emotion directly on the page. And there is a large number of studies, over 400, that look at expressionist writing about emotions. And you can write for just 1 hour about emotions, 1 hour about expressionist writing, and you follow these people over months and months. You find that whether they have diabetes or asthma, arthritis, HIV, cystic fibrosis, depression, PTSD, months later, after 1 hour writing, 3 to 4 months later, for hospital visits, for ER visits, for hospitalizations, there's less medication, they're missing 4 days of work. Right. It is amazing. It's amazing. In fact, authors in medical journals have said this was a pill. We paid millions of dollars for it. But no one is is lobbying to self-test. And that's really all that it takes, you know? Now, what that tells me is if this is so quick that after 1 hour you get all of these lasting benefits, it's not comfort, it's automatic. And for me, that means that emotion is not inside here, it's not really unconscious. Emotion is out there, emotion is in the environment. Native Americans have told us that there is no emotion without relationships. When we go to a play, we're not standing and staring at the talking heads. We're looking at the emotion which is in the air between the characters. That's our emotion. And just like we import color with objects, we import emotion with relational objects. And so what do we have? We have a better understanding of the world because of our art, because of our representations of a world that's impossible to know 100%, but the better we get the safer we are. And a better understanding of the emotional ones as well, which can be dangerous if those emotions, you know, if there's certain emotions are represented. So it's the same process. It's a simple process, but it's fun. When you measure those cortisol levels, you don't have to get those. Any level first, how you can make stick figures, the cortisol levels go down. Yeah, so it's something anyone can do. And that's, to my mind, my understanding, that's why primarily art is part of all this.
Dr. Weddle, that was amazing. Thank you for that. And I want to invite our audience. Does anybody have any questions for him about art as a wellness practice? And have you observed that in your own experiences or in your own life?
I'm very interested in if there's been formal studies around the relationship of these effects you're describing to theater arts and performing arts. I know you had just mentioned that. Has there been formal studies that you could refer me to about that?
You know, at this stage, most of the work around emotion has been done with expressions like not expressions of meaning, not expressions of performance art, not expressions of music, all those things. Most of it has been writing, and because something that has been reproduced over and over again is control. Whether it can be done in theater, the mind model, or not a model that can be used to control studies in the theater environment.
But on the other hand, we know that, for example, people that are in the spectrum population, they use theater and role modeling as a way to learn social pragmatics and to practice how to interact with people and also to deal with anxiety. Like a lot of people who may have actual performance anxiety and social anxiety, by doing theater, they cope with it, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's expressing emotions directly.
Yeah, in a safe way. It's not you.
If you have studies where someone you years ago, you know, they have someone doing 1 hour of writing about their emotions, then the control group does 1 hour writing about, tell us what you did over the last week. It's not emotional. Those are the groups that.
It's amazing. Well, we have information here tonight in Gallery 12 at the Ringling Museum. We'll be here till 8 o'clock. You get to meet Dr. Weddle if you want to ask him more questions directly. We have interactive activities for the kids and information about some common mental health challenges, as this is May, Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're on the positive spin, and we're so grateful because Dr. Wellness is driving the team through a mind-body training. And you'll hear more about that at our Healing Circle in a couple weeks. He'll be speaking, and you can check in on our Facebook and sign up for that. And we'll be happy to answer more questions and hear more exciting and interesting things. So a lot of good stuff. Well, thank you, Dr. Weddle. Thank you, everybody. Okay, Chief. All right, Chief, we're gonna take a break.